Hi there guys, I hope you have had a good day. Now, October 31st, Derek Chisora versus Alexander Usyk. Both are in training camp and preparing and sparring for their respective fights. But Derek Chisora needs more sparring partners according to David Haye. And it's £100 a round or £1,000 if you can knock him down. That is what David Haye has explained. So clearly Derek Chisora is being put through his paces in sparring, training camp, in preparation for Alexander Usyk, and they want all the heat they can get in this training camp. They want to replicate the fight as best they can in camp for Derek Chisora because he needs to be comfortable in that position. He needs to be comfortable in there with a southpaw who can punch hard and fast and move extremely well, and ultimately anyone who thinks that they can get in there and put a dent in Derek Chisora, David Haye wants them to go over and help them spar for Usyk. Now, at the moment we do know two names that are in camp with Derek Chisora, Sinad Gashi and Brian Jennings. They are both there with Derek Chisora, training alongside him and helping him spar and prepare for this Usyk fight. Two good sparring partners because Brian Jennings does have good movement and I would say a good boxing brain as well. Sinad Gashi, good mover. I mean, against Derek Chisora, that's all he done was move the whole night. I mean, it was a very underwhelming fight between Chisora and Gashi, but ultimately that will bring a good sparring for Derek Chisora because Usyk is someone who's going to be in there. Very difficult for Chisora to hit. Very difficult to catch clean because the question marks are, what happens if Derek Chisora lands one of his big power punches? What will Usyk do? How will he respond? Well, ultimately Derek Chisora needs to land that punch in order for that effect to happen. So he needs to work on sparring southpaws. Now, the interesting thing about Derek Chisora is he's always struggled with southpaws. I mean, many were saying that Spilka was going to overturn Derek Chisora because Chisora just cannot fight southpaws. I mean, in sparring, he was finding it extremely difficult to gauge sparring partners who were in that southpaw stance. And he was fighting Spilka. It was only a week or two out from the fight that it actually clicked. And then look what he done to Spilka. So, just because he done well in that performance against the southpaw, he's in with an elite level southpaw now. So if he struggled with southpaws before, it's about to get a whole lot more difficult for Chisora. But that does not mean that Usyk is going to win just because Chisora struggles with southpaws. This fight is not a 50-50. It's never going to be. I mean, Usyk is the clear favourite going in. Many sports pundits are saying that Chisora will not be able to last in this fight. Some say that he will get stopped late. Some say he will lose on points. Tony Bellew and David Haye obviously are backing Chisora to get the knockout, both of them saying that they will get the knockout. And I think that is the only way that Chisora can win this fight. He's not outpointing Alexander Usyk. That is why David Haye is looking to bring in more sparring partners, more southpaw sparring partners, £100 per round, £1,000 if you can knock him down. The reason why that bonus is there, I believe, is because Derek Chisora is planning and preparing to soak up a lot of punishment in this fight. And ultimately, he's going to have to walk through a lot of punches to land his own. Now, interestingly, Dave Allen was actually helping Alexander Usyk prepare and spar for Chisora, and he said that you try and walk him down, he's always got an answer to it. You cannot walk this guy down. The only way you can beat him is by beating him at his own game, which you would think is impossible because he's so good at it. But I guess he does have a point. If you walk at him and try and walk him down and land your own power punches, he always has an answer. He's so fast with his punches, his combinations, his movement. He moves off to the side, lands a few counter punches. He's already behind you by the time you've tried to walk him down. So ultimately walking this guy down maybe isn't an option for Derek Chisora. Dave Allen does have a point. So given that, what is Derek Chisora going to do instead? Is he going to turn into a fleet-footed boxer and outbox Alexander Usyk? Absolutely not. He's not going to do that. But there must be some game plan they are trying to put into place because, as Dave Allen explained, it is very difficult to just walk this guy down because when you're in there with a master boxer like that, elite level, walking someone down definitely isn't an option. So there must be some way they are looking to get around that, maybe using positioning because Derek Chisora does not have fast feet. But what he can do is use his positioning, and obviously he's the bigger man, the stronger man, so he can make Usyk force the pace on him, make Usyk come to him. And ultimately, Derek Chisora is not the best going backwards. He's a front-footed fighter, and interestingly enough, when he goes forward, he gets hit less as opposed to going backwards. So he's clearly a fighter who likes to walk forwards but he cannot do that against Usyk. There must be another way, there must be another game plan in which he employs to win this fight. And whether that's to stand off Usyk and allow him to pressure him, whether that's to try and establish a jab and have a battle in the centre of the ring, I don't think Usyk is going to be the kind of guy who's going to be befuddled at all by someone like Derek Chisora or overawed by the physical strength and size, because he has fought a heavyweight previously, but Chaz Weatherspoon is not on the same level as Derek Chisora. Chisora does kind of raise the bar to what opponent is in there with him. So against Usyk, I think that we could see the best Derek Chisora. We're going to have to if he's going to come anywhere near close to winning this fight. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a ridiculously tough night for Derek Chisora. But what he must do is make it a tough night for Usyk as well. I mean, Usyk always has an answer to everything. So what Chisora needs to do is try and take things away from him. Not necessarily implement his own game plan, but think about what does Usyk do well and try and exploit that, because there aren't really any weaknesses of Usyk other than maybe he does get hit too much. I mean, that was against Tony Bellew, a faster fighter, so Bellew was able to catch Usyk and catch him often, which Usyk didn't like. And Usyk does get hit, but again, that's against a faster opponent down at cruiserweight. This is heavyweight. The speed advantage will be astronomical for Usyk. So I would say that go to the body, break the guy down, break him down bit by bit, slow him up, bring him down to your pace, because ultimately Usyk was dropped with a body shot in the amateurs, and I know that's not a lot to go by because many fighters are dropped in the amateurs, even those who go on to have granite chins in the pro game. But ultimately, he has to look at anything he can exploit in Alexander Usyk, and going to the body is going to be a good tool for Chisora, because many fighters who have granite chins, they cannot take punishment to the body. No one can. No one can take a sustained punishment to the body, no matter how durable they are. Still, that is the one place to stop someone who is at times maybe unable to be stopped. So that is something that maybe Chisora can look into. But these sparring partners that he's bringing in, the sparring he has already got is a top quality sparring, but they are looking for some more. And on top of that, there is a healthy bonus for whoever brings the most heat, for whoever maybe knocks down Derek Chisora. So that is some motivation for someone coming into camp with Chisora and shows the kind of sparring that they are looking for. To do the work now, to get all this pain and punishment out of the way and get comfortable in that kind of situation, because it's going to be like that on a fight night against Usyk for Derek Chisora. This is going to be an incredible fight. Who knows what could happen? A cruiserweight coming up to heavyweight. If it was a heavyweight versus heavyweight, then I mean, it would be 90-10 to Usyk, but where he's a cruiserweight coming up, and I know he's had one fight, but still, he's kind of raw at heavyweight at the moment, so we don't know what could happen. One punch in this division can really change everything. Guys, anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below, leave a thumbs up, and subscribe if you are new. Thanks, guys.